He's on the screen. We're back after a long time. Championship Trav, got his picture back there. You see that. Ty, what's up, man? Say hi to the people.
Don't call that man championship, Trav. Season's over. Okay, we in a lockout. It happened last year. Get over it. It's
And
over.
as Ty was saying, that's the reason why we're here. The lockout. Storms, you're gonna have a lot to say. We all know that. Say what's up to everybody, man. It's been a while.
It has been a while, man. It was a long season, man. We needed a break. But we're back. There's interestingly enough, there hasn't been a whole lot going on, but we've got a whole lot to talk about because it's been a while. So I'm just happy to be back on the show, man.
And as you all know, if you don't know our faces by now, talking about baseball, sometimes when y'all been living under a rock or y'all haven't joined the scene. So go ahead and do so. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Go to the Facebook page. We're all on there. And actually, we all just posted our top 5 pitchers for this next year. Well, if we have a year due to the strikeout. So we'll see if we even have a top 5 in pitching. But if you guys want to go see the list, go check it out. Join the page. If you want to make your own list, make your own damn list. If you don't, you want to debate us, join us. But you ain't going to win the debate, I'll tell you that right now. And so let's go ahead, man. Let's talk about this strike. The strike started December 2nd. The owners locked out the players basically from doing anything in the facility, talking contracts. That's why we saw a flurry of signings right before, right before the lockout. The lockout started, like I said, December 2nd, and we saw a flurry of signings, the 1st of December, and also the last day of November, which is crazy. We never really seen stuff like that, especially that early and before the winter meetings, because people didn't know what the structure was going to be, and we still don't know. Just to kind of give you guys an idea, the owners want, basically in a nice way of saying it, more money, because what they want to do is they want to expand the playoffs, and that's only going to benefit them because they get 100% of the revenue from those playoff games. So, they're wording it in a way where people don't really understand unless you follow the contract lingo, that they want more money. And ultimately the players want a share of that.
All
and
that
we're going to get into
revenue.
Huh?
Oh, I said all that TV revenue.
Yeah, a lot of TV revenue. That's a whole lot of money. I mean, and if you think about it, there's a lot of MLB teams that own their own channels. There's a lot of teams that have percentage of channels. So not only are they making that revenue, 100% revenue, but they're making revenue on top of revenue. Like we keep saying, the rich keep getting richer, right? Now, Storms, touch on a couple of things that, the owners want besides that. And if you want to get into a piece of what the players want, opposed to that, go ahead, touch on it.
Yeah, man. So for one, the expanded playoffs, they're trying to take it from where it is now and make it 14 teams, 7 from each league. The players came back with a counter proposal. This was pre-lockout, of expanding it to 5 teams from each league. Now, part of that, expanded playoffs is something the players have been asking for a long time. Part of the reason, and it was a little surprising to me at first, that they wanted a smaller field is because of one of the other issues that they're trying to address, which is tanking. Because if 7 teams from each league get into the playoffs, then it will incentivize owners to be just good enough so that they can get into the playoffs and get that extra revenue, rather than really competing for like the smaller and mid-market teams where it's really hard to build a championship franchise. They're worried that they won't go the extra mile to get that done. And so it's a competitive balance type of thing. Along with the expanded playoffs, and in order to get their 7 teams, the owners offered to install the universal designated hitter and a shortened season to 154 games, which are also things that the players have been fighting for a long time. The big thing that really all this comes down to me is the players, other than some of the I feel more minor issues, aren't asking for a whole lot of things that they haven't already had before. The reason we're where we are now is because there are things that, due to bad negotiating from the players union, concessions that the owners got over the last 10, 15 years that they're not willing to let go of. And that's what's causing some of the major impasses right now.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, but one of the major things there is not bringing up people when they're ready, because they get more years of control from a minor league player coming into the MLB if they wait a certain amount of years than being in the minor leagues heading into major leagues. So
right, and they
teams
can play a little bit.
Yeah,
that's why you see so many players going up and down all the time.
Yeah, they've been taking advantage of that, and obviously, the longer a player stays in the minor league, the less money they make, and also the more years that the team has control over them. So that's one of the things that Storms is referring to. That was horrible negotiating on the players' union side.
Yeah, and agreeing to arbitration, it was one of those. It felt good and kind of benefited a little bit immediately, but it's really hurt the players in the long run.
Yeah,
true. But we have to understand, and this is something that most people don't really think about when you think of professional sports. Like, everybody thinks, oh, these players are playing a game and they're already getting paid millions. You got to look at it from the player's lens. When you had a trend towards where you had record high amounts of money being made for players around 2017, how could you want players to not kind of fight for more autonomy and more say so? Any league that happens. I mean, you saw it in the NBA, you're seeing it in the NFL gradually, not as much, but the Players Association just wants to make sure that certain teams, when it comes to this threshold that MLB has for the bigger markets, to be able to spend more money. And why not? I mean, if you have a good team that's willing to spend more money to bring and attract good players, as a player, why wouldn't I want to play for a good team that wants to pay me as well? So to have more influence on where you want to go, most likely a bigger market, and also a successful organization that has better resources, better staff, all of that, that can attract these players, why wouldn't the players want to fight for that? So it makes sense. Now, on the owner side, you have, unfortunately, losses that took place from 2020. So you have a bunch of owners who don't want to revert to losing money, and that's a big concern. And that's where you have one side of the spectrum. They're like, okay, we're going to make concessions this way, but then you have the Players Association saying we're going to make concessions this way, but both sides are saying, hey, we can't come to an agreement or not talking at all. Like, if we look at what I've read before the lockout happened, these two came together for like 7 minutes, like a 7-minute meeting. So that shows the disparity from the ownership standpoint and their perspective and the players' perspective. Now, who's right or wrong? That's up to the fans. But ultimately, I think why we're just now having this session now is maybe both sides. So, okay, we'll cool off. We'll take a breather, and then let's come together now to kind of see what we can do. And these are going to be some serious negotiations that are going to take place. First ones, and this is going to kind of set the tone if this is going to be a short, lockout, or if this is going to be for the long haul, which is scary.
Yeah.
That tells me that meeting went, we're not budging on this. Okay, well, we're not budging on this. F you. No, F you. All right, bye.
It's kind of like that Spider-Man meme, right? Where they're pointing at each other.
Yep.
and they're like, all right, this is over.
That sounds
Savvy.
like a 7-minute argument. F you, hey, I ain't gotta take this. Hey, you ain't gotta take this either.
Mhm.
You leave. No, you leave. Okay, I'll leave.
Okay,
No, I'll leave.
We all leave.
you gonna fire me? I quit.
All right, same time.
But you gotta add anything to it, Trav, man? Like,
Man, just overall, man, they just gotta get it right. Man. They gotta get it right. I mean, owners, you getting paid, but yet at the players, like Ty was saying, like attracting the players. One thing that does attract the players and to have is the finances, but two, you just gotta win. Gotta be a winning organization. Nobody don't want to start nothing for no dirt. We ain't got time to be starting from the bottom. Now we here. All us ain't Drake around here. So, I mean, at the same time though, the revenue, man, the money, man. Owners are getting their money, but they want more. So it's tough. It's just tough, and that's why I guess they're bumping heads right now because, again, both of them just can't come to an agreement. But baseball is such a fun sport, man, and people need it, man. Y'all just need to go and get this going, man, so we can get back on here and start fighting each other about our teams, man. Bottom line.
Yeah, really, because this ain't no fun, man. No baseball news is horrible. Like, you know, you guys haven't seen our faces for about a month and a half since the World Series because there's nothing really to talk about. I mean, we could talk about the free agent signings all we want, but we're going to have the same show over the same signings. You know, we can't do that.
You know, one thing that flurry of signings should have told us ahead of time was that there was a lot of uncertainty about how long this was going to take and what the players thought they were actually going to be able to accomplish, in my opinion. You know, like if I don't have a whole lot of confidence that they're going to get a lot of favorable things done, why don't I go ahead and get as much money as I can before the new deal goes into place?
Yeah, and that's why we saw the flurry of contracts at that time. You know, because they had no idea, and you know,
I think there was some of that on the owner's side too.
Oh yeah. For sure. And one thing to touch on what Trav and also Ty was saying, you know, that the players want their cut. You guys watching out there have to understand that the way that these guys, the owners, the people in the dugout, the trainers, the grounds crew, everybody with an organization, how they get paid is us, the fans. You know, us buying tickets, us buying merchandise, you know, and you have to understand a big portion of that is the players. This is not college. The players represent themselves. The players wear their name on their back. Yeah, they wear their jersey, but they make their names for them. They themselves. They want to get paid, and they deserve to do so. You guys may want to say these people are greedy. These players want millions of dollars. They're already getting paid millions to play a game. But if you work and you dedicate yourself as hard as they do year in and year out to produce the way they do year in and year out, you deserve that type of money. And there's nobody to tell you that you don't, because there's only a small percentage of this world that makes it to the level that they made it to. And the way they made it there is by putting their heart and soul into it, and they deserve this money. And that's their last name that they're representing that's on the jersey. So they deserve that. Don't try to take any money away from anybody else. Like, people love to do that, and people will love to say, oh, I don't understand why this guy got this contract. They're getting paid for what they love to do, and they deserve it. You know, they deserve this money. What's up, everybody? This is the Guru. Hey, if you guys like what you just saw here on the scene, talking baseball with everybody from the dish, go ahead and do us a favor. Like, first of all, share this video and subscribe. We're trying to reach our 500 subscribers so that we can bring you better and more content. Also, here's the Facebook page for the scene. Here's the IG page for the scene, the IG page for the dish. Here is Twitter for the scene. Here's Twitter for the dish, and here is our Twitch. So do us a favor, please go follow.